what the Zionists and now the Israelis have done to the Palestinians over time is one of the great crimes of modern history.
I came across a phrase in some of my reading this week that I suspect you're familiar with and have written about. Israeli victim identity. What is that?
Probably means the famous saying from Elie Wiesel that Jews are never the perpetrator, they're always the victim. Or to put it in slightly different terms, they're never the victimizer, they're always the victim.
Well, this piece in Haaretz claims that they can never again make that claim after what they're doing in Gaza.
Well, the truth is they could never make that claim a long time ago, because what's going on in Gaza is just a continuation of a long story that started in the early 20th century. So they have not always been the victim. If you go to Nazi Germany and what happened during the Holocaust, of course, the Jews were the victims. They were not the victimizers. Nobody in their right mind would make that argument. But if you go to the Middle East, if you go to what was once Palestine and is now Israel, it's impossible to make the argument that the Israelis were the victims and not the victimizer. They were the victimizer. They went into an area where there were hardly any Jews, and the land and the villages and the people were Palestinians, and they stole their land and they created this state of Israel. And to do that, you had to commit crimes. You had to be the victimizer. There is no way the Zionists could have created the state of Israel without being victimizers. And the principal victims were the Palestinians. As I like to say, and this is an argument that will strike most people as being on the extreme side, but it really is not. What the Zionists and now the Israelis have done to the Palestinians over time is one of the great crimes of modern history.
You have made that case very powerfully.
And Judge, by the way,
based on empirical evidence.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. People may think John is making this up. This is just him putting the facts together to suit his own views. No, I learned this from reading books and reading articles that were written by Israelis and Western Jews. There is a huge amount of evidence to support the argument that the Israelis were the victimizers and the Palestinians were the victims in the context of the Middle East. There's just no question about this. And anybody who's interested and wants to study this issue will find plenty of supporting evidence for the point that I'm making.